Andrii?
Thank you.
Yes.
That's kind of, again, startup life. Everything is behind schedule, and some things don't work. So that's kind of sounds familiar, probably. Thank you for being here. It's a super cool panel. I have so many questions to ask you, also on a personal level, but we'll have to prioritize some stuff. But first, I suggest we do a round of intros, telling a bit more about what your startups do, and perhaps you have some announcements to make. Probably you do. Please. You can start with you, Gatis.
Yeah, okay. Hello, my name is Gatis. I'm CEO and co-founder of CellBox Labs. We are a company that makes organs and chips. Those are small in vitro models to help better develop drugs and other medicine. And from the announcements, we have just closed the pre-seed round of almost 1 million euros. And we are going full speed ahead and look out for opportunities to join us, because we will definitely be growing our team.
Thank you. Thomas?
Sure. Hi, my name is Thomas Landrain. I'm French. I used to be a scientist in synthetic biology. In fact, I co-founded the first French synthetic biology laboratory almost 17 years ago now. Founded also the first French iGEM team back in 2007. And so I've had a long journey through biotech. Established the first biohacker space as well, the DIY community in Europe. And founded also a biotech company called Petri-Jaan that is now 10 years old, is in Series B. It's a 50-people company doing dyes, colors basically, for the textile industry using precision fermentation. And so, for example, we are producing tons of indigo using precision fermentation. But today, I'm mostly here for JOGL. JOGL is my newest company, and it's a digital platform this time. And it's made for scientists, entrepreneurs, engineers that are looking for new ways to collaborate online, to create communities where they can help each other on their research projects, innovation projects, share good practices, resources, needs, etc. So it's really made for any kind of organizations or collectives to have a better experience of collaboration.
Thank you.
Hi, and my name is Petri. I'm associate professor at Tallinn University of Technology and also a co-founder and co-CEO of IO, where we are producing future-shaping fats and oils with a goal to replace palm oil and other non-sustainable fats and oils. And we are doing it via biotechnology. So we are upcycling different industrial side stream. If you have any type of industrial side stream that you want to get rid of, we will upcycle it into edible fats and oils. And regarding some news, then we recently opened our pilot scale production facility, and now we are closing a funding round to start building actually a demo production facility.
Thank you so much. Well, so as you can see, we have a super cool mix of countries, mix of kind of directions, right? So there's hardware, there's software, there's wetware. Almost like anything you can think of is represented. Might throw some AI in there for good measure if we could, but I think it's all right if we don't. So the main things that we wanted to focus this panel on is pivotal points. So basically, in your startup journey, the question would be, was there a moment, can you remember the moment in time where you thought, okay, I'm definitely doing this, and tomorrow you can choose any of the startups, maybe the most recent one, but it's up to you. The moment in time, if you remember it, like, okay, I'm actually doing this, and what led to this moment, like what inspired you to do that?
Maybe I can tell a little story. The way I started Petri, I'm going to choose that part. So Petri is an industrial biotech, but it didn't start this way. Petri, it's not a company that was born out of a laboratory, of a research lab, but out of a biohacker space, and from an idea I had with a designer. So it's not like we have a discovery in a lab and then we have to make a tech transfer and think about how we can make some uses. No, we had actually a vision. Okay, what's the future of pen? Pen has been existing for a very long time, and so what's the next iteration? And we thought about, can we have a pen that can produce its own ink? So instead of having a cartridge, you have a small bioreactor inside, and so as you write, you have bacteria producing ink, producing pigments. And when you don't have ink anymore, you can just feed the pen with sugar to feed the bacteria and rewrite with it again. And so it was fiction, obviously, design fiction, but it brought us to the path. Okay, is it possible to make ink out of bacteria? That was 12 years ago. And there was nothing like this at the time. But bioproduction, the way we speak of bioproduction today was not the case 12 years ago. So it was a very new kind of approach. And so, funny enough, I couldn't work on this idea in my own academic laboratory because it was too far from the theme of the lab. So hopefully I had this biohacker space in an abandoned building in a squat, in the suburb of Paris. And in just a few months, I made a proof of concept. And at first, we didn't go for the startup path. We thought, oh my God, this is amazing. We have to tell people, that this is possible. So we worked with this designer, a friend of mine, and we created a kit for people to grow their own ink at home. And we went all around the world to teach people, to give workshops and to adults and kids, to extract pigments out of bacteria. And then at some point, we realized that if we really wanted to change the way we collaborate, with scholars in general, we use scholars, it's not going to be by having people grow their own, colors at home. It's not scalable, so we have to change the industry. That's how we shifted mindset, and then we realized, okay, now actually we need to become an actual industry company. And that was a really big shift for us. That was really that was possible as we met also a couple of new people that became the co-founders also of the company. Jeremy and Guillaume, who are the actual CEO and CTO right now. And that has been like a huge journey because we started, because we are not part of any academic laboratory, we couldn't use the typical tools that these environments had at the time. And also because we started as not being reliant on patents, but everything was open source. So we really had like a strange couple of years at the beginning that was not matching any typical stories. But yeah, so that's been a beautiful journey. Now, PD is one of the leading company producing dyes, ecological dyes. When you buy 1 kilogram of indigo from PD, it comes with 10 times CO2, 10 times less CO2 and water than a typical petrochemical dye made, out of gas. So we're pretty happy about that.
Thank you so much. On the topic of expanding the number of startups that are getting created, science-based startups, people usually look for reproducibility, and one should really analyze the story really hard to find out how can this be. This is so unique and so random at times. I mean, it sounds at least that way. That it's a whole other conversation about how can we encourage more people doing that, doing those journeys.
Absolutely. I'm a big supporter of alternative spaces where you can really explore new kind of ideas, like exactly the pen idea, right? That's not the typical concept that you will have in an academic laboratory because that's not the kind of focus that you have. You work more on the discovery path and the technology itself. So any spaces, especially like in multidisciplinary places like this one, I guess, where you can not only have researchers, but also artists, designers, and entrepreneurs mixing together, business people as well, philosophers, sociologists. I think these kind of environments are really, important if you want to have a new imagination of how we can use biotechnology, or biology in general, and open like new paths. So yeah, these kind of alternative environments are really key and strategic, I would say.
Thank you. May I ask Gatis to share your take on this?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges, not challenges, is you could say challenge as well, is to come up with new innovations and transfer it to actual innovation from research, is that researchers are very detached from innovation process in general. So I think it's also important to start very early, that actually students in already elementary school or in high school, or they are very well aware that they grow up with this idea that you can start your own company on no matter what the field is. And of course, we will be happy the more would be in biotech. And then that translates to also university. And I think it should be at every single stage, from kids in school all the way up to professors that already are, I don't know, in 50s, that there is a process or some kind of environment or places where you can test your ideas.
Was there an actual moment? Probably there was, but do you have in mind an actual moment where you were Robert and Arthurs were thinking like, oh shit, we're a startup now, like we're not researchers anymore, just researchers, you know?
Yeah, I think we started the idea. It was in summer 2019, and for half a year we were doing at the research level. We were doing project applications, doing a lot of applications, doing little work because you need financing for that. And then we participated in a hackathon that was co-organized as well by Leah and the institute. And that was a moment where we did this hackathon for 2 days, and there were very good list of mentors from MIT, from VC funds, from Poland, from advisors from Sweden, etc. And everyone was very supportive and very excited about this idea, what we are doing about organs and chips. And I think that was the point that we understood, okay, yeah, this is actually something that can be real, and then just continued the same process in different events.
Shout out to Leah for that. Petri.
Yeah, in my case, I have been now a group leader at the university. So my background is in academia, and I've been a group leader for 8 years already, quite a long time. And the goal has been always to understand if you can use biotechnology to upcycle locally available resources. And we were working with strange organisms, so non-conventional yeast, not well studied, but we found very good ones. We developed synthetic biology tools to engineer them. We were directing the production towards special compounds that we were interested in, but this platform had never been scaled up. So we were always working at lab scale and getting nice results, but had never the confident that these processes can be actually scaled up. And together with my current co-founder, once, it was 3 years back, something like that, we were visiting one university where we were able to do now, I think it was 20-liter fermentation, so already a big step further in terms of the scale-up. And we were in the evening having dinner and then thinking that now if we are going to, I don't know, try to get funding, scientific funding for the next scale-up study, then it probably takes 2 years or even more to actually do the next scale-up experiments. And then we decided that we should do something faster and try to build our own company. And we knew that it's difficult to get out from this comfort zone of being academic. So we decided that, yeah, we will join one accelerator program that was starting next week almost. And we joined that one, and I think then it all kick-started.
Is that the Beamline accelerator program?
Yeah.
Right. It felt, I was there, and I remember when you were telling about the name of the company, it felt like you came up with this just recently. So it felt very like in the process.
It was actually exactly the same evening when we had dinner in Germany, actually. And then we decided that we'll make a company, and then we came up with a name as well.
So basically, we have here, again, a very, very diverse set of starting points, but they're all very much connected to, mixing people together and making people brainstorm ideas. The next, probably looking at the time, is unfortunately is going to be one of the last things that I want to discuss. I would want to have this talk like for the entire day. but the rest of the session is probably mine. Was there a different pivotal point when you thought, okay, maybe this is not going to work at all? Like, was there like a crisis point when you thought, I don't know if this is going to survive or not? Is it worth it at all? Like, why am I doing this?
I will save time, and I would say we haven't had yet. So we were quite lucky with all the funding and all the steps that they matched fairly well.
Fingers crossed it's not going to happen. So.
Yeah.
I can tell a little story this time about JOGL. So JOGL was born 5 years ago as a non-profit organization. And really the idea was we can create communities online of experts, of scientists, engineers that can work together, like decentralized research institute, if you will. And we started, July 2019, and we really had a slow start. People were having a hard time to understand exactly what we're trying to do. And then COVID hit. But just before COVID hit, we were really trying to think, okay, is this going to work at all? We were thinking that maybe, this is not the right approach, we don't know. But then when COVID happened, it became extremely clear that this was the perfect approach. And we ended up actually creating one of the largest communities online of scientists and engineers. We're talking about more than 4,000 people from across 100 different countries collaborating on 200 projects on medical devices, bioproduction as well, open source diagnostics. It was really amazing. And we basically set up all the foundations of what is JOGL today thanks to that whole experience. But we really came close to potentially actually finishing that experience if the COVID didn't happen. Yeah.
So you're one of the few projects for which COVID was actually not
yes,
such a bad thing.
Yes, I was very busy during COVID, unless other people. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I remember there was one day when I told to my co-founder that should we continue, and it was when we had just we had a positive confirmation from our pre-seed investor that they will invest into us, and then we were in tough negotiations with the university to get the IP out. And then there was one day then when I thought that maybe it's not worth it, but it passed luckily, and yeah, so far that has been the only time.
It's good that the filter is behind you now. We have a bit of time for one more question, and what I wanted to ask is, do you think you could name one thing that is still kind of missing or would be nice to have in terms of the startup ecosystem support in your in your respective area where you look at, not necessarily financial, but it might be financial.
Yeah, I would say in Riga that we are missing, or Latvia we are missing this open access biolabs or incubators, if you can call it, where you can actually go and rent a wet bench and you have this instrumentation room, etc. Yeah.
It is coming in the autumn. I can tell you that. This is a bit of a sneak peek.
I mean, I agree with the previous comment. Access to low-cost benches like lab spaces is critical for early-stage ideas. That's what we've done with Lahtvee, with this biohacker space at the beginning, and even like a cheap lab can change the life of many entrepreneurs. And another thing is more networking between entrepreneurs, like having a better idea of what's going on globally, what are the available resources, not necessarily close to you. I think one of the presenters' presentation said that it's all about having the right network of people around you and nurturing this network. And understanding what are like the most qualitative relationships that you can develop. But as you start, it can be very hard actually to identify who are the right people actually to connect to. And so having like better tools that helps you to understand what are the best communities for you to grow as a person, as a scientist, as an entrepreneur, is definitely something important. Yeah.
Thank you.
In my case, I would say that access to scale-up facilities, and luckily in Estonia there will be one, hopefully in 1 year already. And of course also funding, like local smart funds who has some experience with biotech would be very nice to have.
So this is something to think about, right? Thank you so much. We are smack on time. Thank you for that.